term optics. I know. People in PR use it way too much, but it does matter. My niece is an openly gay young woman protesting for free speech. Now, the optics of the situation, well, since you expelled her, there's a lot of room for improvement.
Give us a minute. I spent half an hour on the phone with the superintendent. I'm guessing you are the one that got up his ass about this?
Matt, this could be a fantastic opportunity for you.
I'm not afraid of him. And I'm sure as shit not afraid of you. The Harrises don't reach this far. You're just another trailer trash Murphy around here. What?
You have a call waiting. It's the governor's office.
Tell Jerry I said hi.
Hi, Dana. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. Well, thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Sure.
Well, I'm really excited. I know that you have season 2 coming up of Hand of God, and you play Crystal Harris, the wife of Pernell Harris, in the new season. Could you describe it to the new viewers?
Yeah, sure. The first season is available on Amazon Prime right now, so you can catch up. Basically, Ron Perlman plays this corrupt judge who thinks that God is speaking to him to avenge our son's death. And the whole first season, I'm thinking he's insane, but by the end, I'm complicit in his drama. And then the second season, which starts on March 10th, I am more involved. I'm separated from him because I have to deal with what I've done, and then I'm trying to avenge our son's death in my own way and find out who killed him.
Wow, that sounds pretty intense. There's definitely a lot going on as well with you and your husband in the show, and I know that he gets sent to jail.
Yes, he's up for murder. Mm-hmm.
Right, and then there's this scene where you come and visit him. How would you say that your character, Crystal, feels about this whole situation?
Well, she's a little guilt-ridden herself, and he's still acting insane, so she's not happy about that.
When did you get back?
This morning? What happened?
You know, I was just finishing up my scotch at the Core Club when SVPD's finest comes in with a warrant. Guess I should have left sooner. Kept thinking you'd show.
You look tired.
Well, what can I say? It was a tough day.
Why'd you go to San Francisco? What? Well, are you okay?
CO gave me a beatdown. Everybody just let it happen.
You cannot do anything to encourage.
You think I provoked this, Chris? They think I'm a cop killer. That's why I gotta get the hell out of here.
Who's your new lawyer?
I haven't figured that out yet.
The hearing's in 2 days.
I'll represent myself at the hearing. I'll get
you're gonna
somebody.
How many people have done that in your courtroom? Did they win?
Chris, I know the law, okay? I fucking wrote the law.
Now, look at yourself. Look what you're wearing. You're not special anymore.
Okay, right. Now, this situation with your son seems like a very pivotal part of the story, and how you're dealing with that as well. Now, there's also this scene that I have here, which I'm going to show everybody, where you're sort of unhappy and you're in this beautiful mansion and someone shows up to see you and they start talking about, I guess there's another woman or another wife that's involved. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, yes. That's Ron's secretary, Randy, comes and asks me to go visit him in jail, and I'm like, well, why don't you ask his other wife? Because in season 2, he married his mistress without me knowing it. So yes, he's a bigamist.
Oh my God. Okay, so you're dealing with the fact that he's married to you and someone else at the same time, and you're trying to help him while he's in jail.
Yeah, well, she wants me to help him. I'm not sure I want to. You know, Judge Purnell is a complicated man. He thinks he can get away with everything, including murder.
How'd you know I was here?
Purnell asked me to put an alert on your Jung's account. I get notifications every time you order. What'd you get?
Honey. So he knows I'm back.
Not yet. You gonna let me in? If Purnell stopped on a dime, it would take a day and a half to dig cheap Toby out of his ass.
Why did he go to San Francisco in the first place?
I don't know.
He's going to get out?
Not if he doesn't get a new lawyer. Readers quit. Nobody in this town wants the gig.
He's made a lot of enemies over the years.
And he's helped a lot of people, too. Some forget too soon.
Look, Randy, I don't mean to rush you, but I have a guest coming for lunch, and I would really like to be ready.
Well, maybe after lunch you could go see him. That would be good. You don't have to love him. Just show up. He needs someone to talk sense into him. He needs his wife.
He has 2 wives. Why did you ask the other one?
If you didn't come back for Purnell, why are you here?
For my son. For PJ.
Well, we'll see how he tries to get out of this one. I actually wanted to ask you what it's like working with Ron Perlman and, what was one of your favorite scenes so far on the show with him?
I love working with Ron Perlman. I tell him every time we do a scene that I love working with him. We got to do a great scene in our big palatial mansion where he comes in and is on a stairwell. And I can't really tell you what happens, but it was so intimate and touching. And he's just a great actor to work with because he's so present. And you don't feel like you're acting when you're acting with Ron. You're just kind of talking. It's great.
Wow, that's wonderful. It must be so great. Both of you are such pros working together. Sounds like a lot of fun. I also wanted to mention to you the fact that you've been in so many different shows and played so many different characters. What is it that you really like about Crystal, about this character?
Well, I kind of think her name says it all. Crystal, I say that she's fake diamonds because even though she's a rich woman, she married into the money. And she actually comes from Stockton, California, from the wrong side of the tracks. And she kind of created who she is. That's not who she really is. So we get to see her go back to Stockton in season 2. And you meet her mom and her sister, and you kind of see where she came from. And I think it all kind of makes sense then.
Wow, right. So she's really presenting herself as this sort of a wealthy woman, but she's really not who she is at all.
No, it's not who she really is.
Well, that's obviously why you are so amazing. You can play these characters and create these worlds. And you've played so many amazing roles over the years. And you've been nominated, you've won awards, you've won Emmys. So what I would love to ask you, which is something that I like to ask most of my guests, is what advice do you have for other people who are aspiring to become, an actress?
Well, first of all, I always tell people you have to really need to act because, it's not an easy career to do. You can't do it because you want money or fame because that's going to come and go. So you really have to have almost a calling that you need to do this, otherwise don't. And I think you just have to love it. I mean, I've been acting for almost 40 years and I still love it. Like I love going to work every day. I still get challenged by it. I still get excited by it. And it's just the work. So I think you have to understand why you're doing it first.
Well, that's very good advice. Thank you so much for sharing. And, I have another question about the show. In the season 2, I know that there's more going on with Ron Perlman, with the character between Crystal and him. And I was hoping that you could give us a little bit of hints about that.
Well, I think we're trying to figure out whether we're going to stay married or not. And for Ron's character, Purnell, his whole mission season 2 is to try to get me back. But I'm not sure as Crystal that I want to go back to him. So that's going to be, throughout the whole season whether we get back together or not. And then you'll see what the answer is if you watch the whole show.
Get this through your head. Oh, I haven't seen Tessie in months, and I have no plan to. I love you. And only you. And I don't want to see you torturing yourself.
I don't give a shit about your girlfriend. I want answers. PJ.
PJ is dead. That's what we get. You gotta stop this.
Did you stop? When people asked you to stop, did you stop?
No. And it cost me everything.
She stole from PJ. She had his wife raped. All for that software, bathwater. What if I can find it?
Well, it's not gonna change what happened. We can move on from this. But we gotta do it together.
For now, you need to get into your head that we will never do anything together ever again.
Well, I can't blame you on that one, not wanting to get back together with him after all of that. But, you know, well, I guess we're going to find out in the new season, like you said. And I know that, you know, there's a possibility you might be even interacting with this other woman coming up. Is that something that we are going to be seeing?
Yeah, she's kind of his stalwart, loyal secretary who will lie for him and do whatever he needs. So there's that aspect of it. But mostly my stuff is with my sister, who's played by a wonderful actress. And I'm happy that people will meet her. She's really fun to work with.
Oh, okay, so that's really cool. We'll be looking forward to that in the new season. That's going to be, you know, a lot more involved, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So also, what was it that made you want to be in Hand of God when you were first sent the script?
Well, I'd only been doing network television up until that point, and Amazon at that time was just starting to do, I think it was their second season of doing a whole slate of shows. So I was intrigued by that. I was intrigued that it was only 10 episodes, so you could do other things. Like right now I'm doing a play, and I couldn't have done that if I was on a network show where you do 23 episodes. So I like that, and I like the people, Ron Perlman and Mark Forster. I liked his movies. He directed the pilot. He's one of our producers. So I was just kind of intrigued by the whole streaming thing.
Wow, that sounds like a perfect situation for you, and definitely getting involved with streaming I think is the way to go, the way of the future, as they say. And Amazon Prime has a lot of great shows coming out like Hand of God, so that's really cool that you are a part of it. I'd love to hear about this play, though. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yes, I'm in Boston right now, and I'm doing Tennessee Williams' The Night of the Iguana. And it's been a wonderful challenge for me. I'm working with James Earl Jones, Elizabeth Ashley, and Amanda Plummer, and they've all done Tennessee Williams before. They're kind of like experts at it. So this has been a great learning experience for me and a kick in the pants, and I'm having a ball.
That's awesome. So how can people see you in the play? Where should they go? When is it open?
We are at ART in Cambridge until March 18th.
Well, that's very cool that you're in this play, and also that you're starring in Hand of God. And I just want to say thank you so much for your advice for everyone and for speaking with me on the Red Booth Show. It's been great talking with you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to my interview with Dana Delaney, who's starring in Hand of God on Amazon Prime. Don't miss the Red Booth Show every Saturday night, where you can get to know actors, musicians, artists, and other people in entertainment and hear about their stories. Thanks for watching.
I really wanted to put a deck on my house.
The floor was creaking and there were cracks in the wall.
I had them put in walls in my basement.
Well, the whole thing was done on time, on budget, and not a day of work was missed.
Alpha Structural is a top-rate company. I'd recommend them to anybody.
If you live in a hillside home and gravity is pulling you towards the edge of the cliff, I recommend you call Alpha.
It was a real pleasure to work with Alpha.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. He took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half-mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid, your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-466-0560.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-466-0560.
Okay, so we drowned the fire. Yep. Stirred it. Drowned it again. And now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Hi, Kathy Mitchell here with my new red copper cookware. The revolutionary pan made with non-stick ceramic and super strong copper. Guaranteed to stay scratch-free forever. It's lightweight yet super strong, so it won't scratch, peel, or chip into your food. Red copper is a baking pan with a handle. It goes into the oven up to 500 degrees. And everything slides right out. Cook my healthy, crispy chicken fingers with little or no fat or oil. Chop steak and onion for a melty Philly cheesesteak. Absolutely no sticking. Or whisk eggs without a mixing bowl. Truly a time saver. Call now and receive my 10-inch red copper pan for just $19.99. Plus, get my recipe book free. Call now and you can double the offer and receive a second set. Plus, our new Forever Sharp copper knife. Just pay a separate fee. Razor sharp and food slides right off. An incredible value. Call now.
Call 1-800-488-9190 to get your special offer, Red Copper Pan. Call now or go to redcopperpan.com. So call 1-800-488-9190. Call now.
There's a mole in the CIA. We need you in Berlin. No one can know why you're there. Not the chief, not his deputies, not a soul.
Who am I looking at?
Everyone.
Anything else?
Welcome to Berlin.
Hey, good evening, Richard. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much for being on the Red Booth Show. Well, everyone, we are here with Richard Armitage, who stars as Daniel Miller in the epic series Berlin Station that's just coming out on iTunes. How would you describe the show?
Basically, it's a story about the CIA station in Berlin, and I play a character called Daniel Miller, who is really sent in undercover to investigate a potential whistleblower called Thomas Shaw, loosely based on Edward Snowden. And it's really seeing how does the CIA function when it's under attack from within, and how does one man who is a patriot call into question his own agency. So it really felt politically relevant when we shot it, but in the interim, it's become much more relevant, I suspect.
Definitely, especially with everything that's been happening with Snowden. So that makes me wonder, does your character in the show sympathize with this person?
Well, here's the interesting thing from an actor's point of view. Daniel has to have an opinion as to whether he condones what Thomas Shaw is doing at the expense of his agency, and I had to bring my own kind of opinions on that to the role also. So, you know, he's torn between being a public servant and a patriot and being a human being, and you know, seeing both perspectives, which I think we probably all could do with a little bit of at the moment.
Definitely. I think that is a real struggle that a lot of people in that field end up facing. And actually it makes me wonder what kind of trouble you're going to get into as an undercover agent in the season.
Well, as Daniel really guides the audience and all of the characters through the pathway to finding Thomas Shaw, he really stumbles on some difficulties. You know, it becomes clear to him that were he to expose the whistleblower, that he would also be implicating himself. So it's the writers describe it as him descending into a kind of rabbit hole of sort of dissent and deceit, and really, you know, that's what they wrote. It's it's a little bit death-defying, but I suspect as we go into season 2 that the stakes are higher. I think the world has changed since season 1 and season 2, so I'm excited and a little bit nervous about what we're going to be talking about next time.
Oh wow, so you're already into season 2 then?
We're about to start. We go back at the beginning of April, so I'm kind of gathering my source information now to step foot into season 2, yeah.
4 coming your way.
Got it, thanks.
Bitte langsam, nicht rennen.
That's fantastic. Well, you're really well known for how much you prepare for your roles. So I was wondering, what did you do to prepare to play Daniel?
I really looked at a lot of accounts of what the CIA was, and it varies broadly across different people that have worked for the agency. I could feel that there was a party line that some people were treading, and then there was people of dissent that wanted to expose what the CIA did. We also worked with Bob Bayer, who was a great source for us to find truthfully what the function of the CIA is and was and will be. And I really took it from there. And what I wanted to create was somebody who felt very real, who was flawed, who was potentially not going to succeed in his job. I didn't want to create a sort of false superhero that could run around with a gun. So that was the goal, and it's still work in progress. I don't know where Daniel's going to go in the second season, but he's definitely flawed and corruptible simply because of his belief in humanity.
Well, that's a good flaw in my opinion. So this mentor that you worked with, did he used to work in the CIA?
Yeah, he wrote quite a lot of literature about, he was a CIA operative, and he's written some incredible books about it. So it was probably as the best source that we could find to talk about this.
Well, actually in the show there's a lot of other really great actors too that you work with. So would you like to tell us a cool story about one of the scenes that you played with them?
I mean, so many. I mean, the cast is amazing. We have Richard Jenkins as the head of the CIA, Michelle Forbes, Leland Orser, Tamlin Tomita. So yeah, I mean, one of my favorite scenes was a scene which we shot in the middle of the night on a very famous bridge in Berlin. I think it's called the Bridge of Spies, and it's a scene with Richard Jenkins, and he's basically blowing my cover, and yeah, it was like being on a movie set. I totally was sort of indulged by him, and an amazing actor to work with. And Rhys Ifans as well. I mean, a lot of my work is with Rhys, who plays Hector DeJean, and Rhys was playing a very dark character, but as a person, he has a lot of humor. So we did spend a lot of time laughing. So yeah, he's a great character and a great actor.
Yeah, he usually plays comedic roles, so in this one, I know he's playing a serious role with you.
Yeah, with a little sprinkling of comedy in there. So.
Well, actually, speaking of acting, and it's a question I love to ask all of my guests on my show, and you've had so much success in this field, so I would love to find out from you if you have any advice or words of wisdom for aspiring actors.
I suppose one of the things I would tell myself when things weren't going so well was just always make sure that you're ready to work when the opportunity arises, and recognize the opportunity. So staying, reading books and staying kind of connected into the news and keeping yourself physically in shape so that you can kind of leap when you're asked to, I think was one of the pieces of advice I would give myself.
Well, you've really been skyrocketing up the charts as an actor. I know that you were in The Hobbit, you were in Captain America, you're in hit shows in the UK, like Spooks and Robin Hood. So I wanted to ask you, what do we have to look forward to from you as well in the future?
I'm actually finishing working on Ocean's 8. I'll be wrapped this week. So that's a really exciting project for me. Yeah, I get to play something which is kind of a little bit comedic. So I've very much enjoyed that, and it's an extraordinary cast of women. So hopefully we'll see that in 2018.
That's very exciting. I know that there's going to be a lot of people looking forward to seeing you in that. And also, of course, in Berlin Station on iTunes, and in the season 2 that you're working on as well.
Yep.
Thank you so much. It's been really great talking with you, and have a great night.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Thank you. Take care. And thank you, everyone, for watching my interview with Richard Armitage, the star of Berlin Station. And you can always tune in to watch The Red Booth Show every Saturday night at midnight to get to know actors, filmmakers, musicians, and more. So thanks for watching.